Hello everyone, and welcome to another Ultimate Fighter episode review. This is for the Ultimate Fighter Season 27, Episode 4, Straight Savage. Now, that's not on Wiki, and I don't know why I have the Wiki up because the episode title is not on there, but it is on MMA Core, which is how I watch the episode. So, and it's gotten the episode names right pretty much all the time before, so I'm sticking to it. And there is quite a lot to talk about with this episode, so we'll just start right at the beginning. So we start with Luis Pena, who fought in the last episode, won his fight against Jose Martinez Jr. And during one of the points in the fight where he landed that beautiful head kick to Martinez, he broke his left foot, and that does lead to a little bit of a story that we get to later on in the same episode, where he did actually break his foot, and he could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, to people who don't watch the Ultimate Fighter a lot, that might not mean anything, but you have to remember, it's put out, the episodes are put out once a week, but it's filmed within the space of 3-4 weeks, almost an entire month. And, for Luis Pena to be out for that long until the season ends, basically, is not really a good thing. The doctor himself, he checked on it and said that that's how long Luis Pena is going to be out for. So, Luis Pena actually, was suppressing a burp there. Oh, hang on, no. There we go. I burped off camera because I don't really want to be that disgusting. I know I'm hard to look at. I don't have to burp too to ruin you, to ruin your lunch. Anyway, Luis Pena was, broke his foot. He will be out for the rest of the season, so someone from Team Blue will be able to come back a bit later on. We don't know who yet. And where was I? Oh yeah, and then he got the rest of Team Cormier in. That's something we have to bring up actually back at the start of the episode, which I completely missed. But he got the rest of Team Cormier in, basically gave him a speech saying, "We got to 4-0. We got to 3-0 now. We're going to go 4-0 in this episode. So I want you guys to kill it out there. I'm going to be recovering the entire season. Just fucking get it." I'm paraphrasing most of what he said, but that is his basic point. He said, "Go for it." And, the rest of the team were they gave him hugs and stuff. And then a bit later on in the same episode, as opposed to a different one, Luis Pena got some... actually, this leads to something that I missed out on earlier. Luis Pena got some FaceTime with Daniel Cormier on a phone. Now, normally we don't, normally the Ultimate Fighter doesn't allow contact with people from outside because, they want the fighters to focus on the fighting. But Cormier had to take a bit of a brief leave because he has obligations to his family back in Louisiana, so his co-head coach, the person working closest to him, is Cain Velasquez. And the last time Cain Velasquez was on a season of the Ultimate Fighter in Latin America, both of the guys on his team that made the finale won. So, safe to say, Team DC were in pretty good hands. But yeah, Pena got some FaceTime with Cormier, and Cormier told him, "Look, none of this stuff, it's not your fault, and it wasn't Luis's fault. Shit happens, basically, and we're going to push through it together, and you're going to get through it, you're going to get better." So, yeah, that was good. And then, the last thing I have to say about Luis Pena, because it was the last thing that happened, was after the fight of this episode was over, which we'll get to, he talked to Dana White and said, "Look, I didn't mean to break my foot. I really want to be, I really want to be able to fight again soon." Dana White says, "I don't know if it works like that, but I'll give you a spot in the Ultimate Fight finale." And Pena said, "Thank you." So, we're going to see Luis Pena fight at the Ultimate Fight finale. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. We get to other stuff. We have a really funny moment in the episode where Bryce Mitchell, one of the two people fighting in this episode against Jay Cucciniello, Bryce Mitchell grew up in Arkansas, and we see his family, he has a girlfriend. He's a true Southern country boy, and I like that. He's just a really charming bloke, actually. He's probably the nicest fighter in this entire season so far. He's the most chill dude out of all of them from what I've seen. And he made a bow. He went to because the Ultimate Firehouse has like a backyard, and we get to see quite a lot of the Ultimate Firehouse actually in this episode. But he goes out into the backyard, into the back garden, and he picks a branch off of one of the trees out there, and actually carves it into a pretty decent bow and makes some pretty decent arrows. And apparently he's done that before because back in Arkansas, he hunts. He hunts his food for himself and his girlfriend. That is cool. And then we get another great moment with Bryce a bit later on, where he tells the guys in this locker room when they're going to train. He tells them, I had a badass dream last night. What happened? I defended a bunch of squirrels from an angry reindeer, and as I was being the reindeer rep, I took selfies with it. That was the farthest thing from badass I've ever heard. I know, but I liked it, and so did I. You know, that is a fucking great dream. I like Bryce Mitchell. Yeah, so, obviously we got to see his home video in Cabot, Arkansas, and he is, he has a girlfriend, has a nice little family. Jay Cucciniello has had a much tougher life, and he talks out with a couple of fighters while playing pool. And he points out that he used to serve in the army in a regiment, the name of which I forget. I think it's called 11 Algar or something. We find out that Cucciniello is from the UK, he just happens to be living in Spain, with a beautiful girlfriend and a beautiful shaggy sheepdog and a little bird named Chico. The sheepdog's name is Benjamin, from what I remember, and the girlfriend's name is Taylor. And, Bryce Mitchell's girlfriend has a great nickname. The Wife Beater, that's her name. That is a great nickname for a female UFC fighter. Female MMA fighter. That's just a great nickname. Her first name is Danielle. So, yeah, where was I? Jay Cucciniello. We find out dude's not had the easiest life. He lost his mom when he was 3, he lost his dad when he was 11. In his 5th fight, he lost his older brother, who's older than him by, 5 years, I think. I'm not really 100% sure. So, and Cucciniello, when he was in the army, he was there for 6 years, and he toured Afghanistan. And during that tour, he was in 2 vehicular explosions and lost 9 men in his regiment, two deaths of which he was actually there to see. And the fact that he's fighting still, I mean, he instantly got my respect for what he said. He wasn't looking for sympathy. He just brought up, where he was from, because the fighters, they do that in every season, pretty much. They bring up where they're from, their upbringing. And Jay, for all the shit that's happened to him, and it's been a lot of shit, he's a really easygoing bloke, and that lends himself well, so, yeah, that's like some of the, all of the emotional and such moments talked about, really. All we have left to talk about is the fight, and it was good. It wasn't as great as the previous 2 were, in my opinion, but this was still a pretty decent fight. Bryce Mitchell won by unanimous decision, extending the winning streak of Team Cormier to 4-0. And it was pretty apparent from the get-go. I mean, Cucciniello had some good strikes initially in round 1. But Bryce Mitchell landed a lot better. He started off with some good leg kicks, and then there was a combo we got late in round 1, about 1 minute 38 seconds in, I want to say, where he landed a left body hook, a right high kick, then a left overhand, then a heavy overhand left, then took Cucciniello down and ground and pounded him. Just managed to grind him out really, really well for the rest of the fight, for the rest of the rounds. Then in round 2, Bryce got the takedown really easily and went for the rear naked choke at least 5 times, to my knowledge. It might have been more. He went for that choke a lot. Didn't get it, but, Jay Cucciniello, it's a testament to that dude's toughness that he was able to stay in there for as long as he did. And he was caught in some bad rear naked chokes as well. I was so convinced he was going to tap after the first one, even. Because Jay Cucciniello is definitely more the stand-up fighter, but Bryce Mitchell is a bit more well-rounded. He's not as good at stand-up as Jay is, but he's way better with the ground stuff. So, sorry, there was someone talking outside and it distracted me. So yeah, it was a really, really good fight. It was definitely a lot more one-sided than previous 2, and Bryce Mitchell won by unanimous decision. And I absolutely think that's the right call. He did enough to win, and so on and so forth. But it doesn't end there, because there was a moment after the fight ended, and before Luis Pena got his chance from Dana White himself to be present at the finale fighting someone, where Delaney Perry, who's my douchebag of the season, because every season of The Ultimate Fight for me has a douchebag and the nicest guy. The douchebag is Delaney Perry, the nicest guy is Bryce Mitchell. And Perry basically started talking crap, saying how he could beat anyone 145-pounder. And he's the only one that's actually been talking shit this entire season. I mean, Luis Pena fired back at him a little bit, but in the previous episode, but it wasn't as bad as like what Perry was saying. Yeah, I know. Like, there's just something about Perry that I don't like. It's probably the fact that he's an asshole. I mean, but you know what? Not really a whole lot else that we can do about that. He is not fighting in the next episode, though. In the next episode, we have Tylen Clark from Team Cormier against Mike Trezano from Team Miocic. And I have to say, seeing Stipe Miocic and Cain Velasquez stood next to each other announcing the next fight made me kind of happy, because those are two of my favourite heavyweights, and I think they had a fight before. But bonus footage. Hold on to your horses and socks. No! Ha 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 ha. He is not fought Cain Velasquez, but that would be really fucking cool if they did. Ah well, that's really all I have left to say for this episode. It was a really, really good one. Probably, in terms of like everything else that happened besides the fight, it was really, really good. Like, the fight itself wasn't terrible, it was just a bit one-sided, wasn't as good as the previous couple in my opinion. It's still a pretty good one. So, yeah, that'll about do it for this episode. Join me on Sunday for my next Fight of the Night review, because there is a UFC event on Saturday night. And then probably the day after that for my neck deep backtracking episode, depending on if the stars align and whether or not I get a lot of chances to write it. So, may as well end it. I don't have anything else left to say. Thank you for listening. You're awesome. Bye bye.